Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at question 38. Again, we're finding the slope and the y-intercept and then looking at some of the other information. In this one, we're given 2 points. And in order to find the slope, we need to use the y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. I know some of my students have a different way of setting this up, so you might end up with your numbers in the opposite order that I do, but as long as the y's are on the top, the x's are on the bottom, and then the points lie on top of one another, it should come out to the same answer when you simplify. I'm going to start with negative 2 minus 18. And since I started from this point, I have to go that same direction this way, so negative 5 minus 20. And so I'm going to get negative 20 divided by negative 25. And a negative divided by a negative is going to make a positive. And it looks like both of these can be divided by 5, so it's going to reduce to be a slope of 4/5. At this point, I can fill in the slope parallel and perpendicular. Parallel lines have the same slope, and perpendicular will need to flip the fraction and change the sign. But this question also asks for the value of b. And remember that as long as we know the slope and at least 1 point, we can use the relationship y equals mx plus b to work backwards and find the missing value. So we're going to go ahead and just use this first point here. We'll fill in y as 18, m as 4/5, and x is 20. And then in my class we talked a lot about you can multiply 4 times 20 and then divide by 5 so that it's something you could maybe do in your head. This makes 80, and when you take 80 and then divide it by 5, you end up getting 16. So we'll bring down the 16, the 18 and the b, and then our last step here is to subtract 16. And we get that b is 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at Desmos with these graphs as well. In this particular one, we're going to go ahead and type in the points. And then the second point. So here are the 2 points, and in order to make our line, we said that the slope was 4/5 and the b was 2, or the y-intercept was 2. We can actually plug that into the equation. And we should see that the line we drew here goes through the 2 points, negative 5, 2, and 2018. And so just like on the previous problems, if I wanted to make a line that was parallel to that, it would just have to start with y equals 4/5 x. And then it could have any b value that we wanted. And if I wanted to make it perpendicular, we would just flip the fraction and change the sign. Okay, so again on this question, in order to find the slope, we needed to use the slope formula for 2 points. In order to find the b, we plug in m, x, y, and then solve for b. The slope of any line parallel will be the same as the original slope, and the slope of any line perpendicular would be the opposite reciprocal. So flip the fraction, change the sign.